Welcome back, everybody, to the 11th Esports World Championship here at IESF 2019. Got it. My name is Raph, and I'm here back again together for our next to last game of the day.
Yes, we have
Next to last series.
Yes, 2 matches left, both best of threes.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty interesting. We have a lot of Dota left in front of us. We have 2 BO1s already completed.
That's true.
But yeah, a lot of Dotas for you to enjoy.
That's true. Potentially 6 more games today if you want to look at the longest case. But it's cool that we're getting into best of threes because finally we're into the playoffs of what has been a very long, grueling 5 rounds of Swiss have been played. And at the end of the day, I think we have a couple of graphics to show you exactly what those rounds looked like. So we did, like we said, 5 rounds of Swiss, and this is the final results of our final round. I was a little bit worried. Our kind of godlike Swedish roster dropped a game earlier to the Philippine roster, who finished undefeated. And so that means that the top 4 teams for the semifinals will be Philippines, Thailand, Finland, and Sweden.
Yes, in a way, expected, since Philippines, Thailand, Finland, Swedish rosters are all from the Pro Dota backgrounds.
That's true.
But at the same time, I mean, a bit sad that we couldn't see them personally, but we heard of all these like players from Japan, players from Nepal. Like a lot of countries actually making a splash during the Swiss format.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though maybe you watch CIS Dota, you watch EU Dota, and wherever you're watching it from, it's really cool to see some of these countries that might not fit directly in any of these categories come out and really show up here. A lot of the 2-3 teams actually could have been either 3-2 or maybe 4-1 teams later on. Mexico really impressing me, so nice to see some American Dota come in here.
Yep, SA Dota.
Well, you know, I'm always like confused about that. I just consider it all American Dota, as much America as I can get. Whether it's North or South or wherever you are. Middle America also. You've got also like way Northern America. If there's some like Nunavut Dota players out there. That's
You mean like the above Alaska?
like where it's colder more of the year than it is warm. But
Yes.
anyway, that's the results of the rounds. Like we said, Philippines, Finland, Thailand, Sweden are our top 4 teams. Thankfully, no tiebreakers there. For seeding purposes, it is going to be Philippines versus Sweden and then Finland versus Thailand as our 2 semifinal matchups.
Is it 1-3 or? Oh, there we go. Actually, we have the matchups.
Wait, is that not what I just said? I believe that's what I just said. Okay, yes. All right, I got
All
it
right.
right, guys. So anyway, we do have 2 semifinals, and even though that's the way that the bracket says what's actually happening, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
No. Wait. Yes.
No, okay. I got it right. So basically, both of the teams advance, and the finals applies to both the bar underneath the finals as well as the bar below it that doesn't have finals. Okay. Anyway, I understand what it means. It's exactly what it should be. 4 teams play, 2 teams go to the finals, 1 team is the champion, and then 2 teams fight it out in the bronze medal match down below.
So we'll be playing the semifinals, and then after that, well, both semifinals play simultaneously, and we'll see the bronze medal match at the end of the day.
That's right. Yeah, so basically what we have coming up is we'll be broadcasting one of our semifinal matches, and then the other one will be played off stream, and then after this we'll broadcast the bronze medal match, or 3rd, 4th place match, consolation match, whatever you want to call it.
Decider match. You know, there's tons of name for it.
That one's coming later on. It is going to be cool to crown at least 1 medalist here today, and of course you guys will have to wait for tomorrow for the grand finals of Dota 2. But I think if you looked at all the teams competing, if you just like sorted them by numbers of Pro Dota players, you'd probably get either these 4, maybe 1 difference, but still 4 of absolutely the strongest teams that were competing at this tournament.
Yes, and the Swedish roster was the one that brought out most hype. You know, S4,
Oh,
EGN,
yeah, of
big
course.
names.
Oh.
But Execration and Trust both represented their countries pretty well. And the Finnish roster has OG Seed members
Right.
in it. So, you know, good players coming off from good backgrounds. But at the same time, we saw a lot of other countries,
Mhm.
you know, having good results. Like 3-2 is pretty good among all those 20 countries.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that's so punishing about Swiss format is it just is you have to be the very, very, very best in order to make it through. So looks like we are about ready to get into our first semifinal match. And it's going to be Sweden versus the undefeated Philippines roster. So this is AKA TI players versus undefeated Filipino roster. I'm just like, Execration's doing pretty well this tournament.
Execration did almost made it to the international scenes a couple of times.
Yeah. I mean, you'll always see them when it gets close to the qualifiers or regional qualifiers for major tournaments. They are always making it deep, but also oftentimes when it starts to really narrow down, they kind of struggle to make it through some of the more international competition.
Yes, but at the same time, the one loss during the Swiss format Sweden suffered was from the Philippines. So we have our hopes up for our Southeast Asian roster. So, and looking for a pretty good game.
You know, this is kind of an interesting situation as far as brackets go, because kind of the reward for placing first after the Swiss stage is that you play the fourth place team.
Yeah.
But in this case, the fourth place team is this Swiss stack that is just absolutely well stacked. If we awarded wins based on most epic social media presence, then Chessie would just single-handedly win for his entire team. I just want to say, I haven't actually seen too much Philippine hype out there on social media, but I think they're getting it done. For the fans back at home watching, wherever you're watching from, this has got to be super exciting to see that these two rosters have made it here to the semifinals.
I mean, this is really exciting. You have, you know, big names on the one side, but Execration, we've seen a lot of Team Philippine games so far, and they have never let us down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They've actually looked, even though the last round of Swiss was super close, I think the games are going to start looking a lot closer. But let's talk about the bans. I don't think anything's too surprising here. Is there anything that jumps out to you, Aqua?
The early Timbersaw ban. I mean, Huskar, okay, it could be a surprise pick, or maybe we've
seen it banned earlier.
To deal with it the last game they met. We couldn't see that game. But Huskar ban followed by a Timbersaw ban. It feels more like they're banning out specific players' picks.
Well, it feels like they literally just watched the last game and they're like, hey, that Timber looked good. Let's not let that happen again. And I mean, it is somewhat unique. At Doom first, okay.
That was a very fast Doom pick. Almost like no hesitation there. And that leaves a tiny pick for the Execration squad. Doom is a pretty good offlaner, but the thing about it is that I'd assume S4 would play either, I say offlaner, but would you really want to lock his hero down this early?
I mean, if you just look at it like purely for its ult, you know, it's a great way to just say no to somebody. But at the same time, like, you definitely can't just guarantee that you're going to get a successful lane out of that. So I think that what's more interesting is seeing Puck and Venge picked up immediately, just to take as much. Well, I guess you can also run the Puck mid like we saw in our last.
I mean, it's really solid support duo in this meta, and like you said, you can also swap them out for different purposes. And when another one of your here gets doomed, you can just swap it out with Vengeful Spirit.
That's true.
With Aghanim, you can also reset the fight once it swaps, fears everybody on the destination, which would include the Doom most definitely.
Yeah.
And there's Lion coming in for more early game and more control on the puck, early game harass, more control on the puck, and that magic damage nuke coming from the ultimate.
Yeah, I saw at least one screenshot from the earlier Swiss rounds that had a Lion in it, so it's not like this is new to the tournament overall, but certainly new for us when we're watching here on the mainstream.
Yeah, Lion, as always, very slow and delicate hero to use, but very, very versatile. Has a stun, has a hex, has a mana drain that can be, buffed with talents, and then Finger of Death. With more gold flowing into the supports these days, Aghanim pickup is much more viable than before.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it was a little bit out of reach unless you're one of those farming supports I have in my game, which is not a strat, by the way.
The heroes who buy one word. Yes.
Well, I mean, you got to save your money for the Ags, right?
Yeah, of course.
Either way, it is definitely a little bit more of an aggressive support for sure. Finger of Death is definitely iconic. So I'm I'm waiting for the Lina pick to combo with that, so you just really want to kill one guy and then you lose the fight. But for the most part, it is actually really interesting because you do have a lot of, especially early lane dominance, if they want to go for one of these like really hardcore, just fight Dota style.
Yeah, I mean, thing about Lion is that it's a bit less of a lane dominator compared to the Lina. So they do want some sort of a strong man support to pair with that. And Sweden bans out Draw Ranger, Terrorblade, all good heroes with that goes along with Vengeful Spirit. And I mean, there's other heroes left, but these two are the most prominent dispatch. And Naga is banned again.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Naga led through any of their drafts so far. I guess maybe one game it wasn't banned, but it also wasn't picked. But either way, regardless, Rubik banned out there just to take a little bit of extra versatility. Back away with, I mean, speaking of versatility, Omni Knight. There you go.
Omni Knight, almost like the opposite end of Doom and like Abaddon, those kind of heroes. Very good at saving and very good laner, very tanky. Really hard to push out from the lane. So unless they pick a really strong carry to go along with Lion, or just pick a complete new support to drive Omni out, it'll be pretty hard to contest his farm, which is all Omni Knight is looking for.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking when I saw the Terrorblade ban. I was like, not only just because it pairs well with Venge, but also because it is a pretty good carry when it comes to the ultra late game, which is something that we still haven't seen just yet. No level 30s out there, but honestly, if there's any game that goes the distance, this is stacking up to be a good one.
Yep, and then the Grimstroke pick is coming in. I think this is one of the big name, the popularity, in a way, the fact is that you kind of wanted to ban out EGM Rubik. But in effect, you let Grimstroke through, so that's a Grimstroke paired with Lion and Doom. Two Finger of Deaths, 2 Dooms, and 2 Impels, 2 Hexes, you know, 2 everything.
Yeah, I mean, when you say it like that, sure. On the other side, like, what do you do against this? Because now all of a sudden, not like the trump card, but certainly a very strong part of this Swedish roster's revealed. We haven't seen a Luna yet. What does Luna do in this lineup, Aqua?
Luna, I mean, Luna and Vengeful Spirit kind of swap their auras around, but now you got both of them. Puck has a good early lane harass and good control. You have Omni Knight, you know, gaining at least decent levels and farm from his lane, so they can like group up as 5 or 4 early and start taking objectives, take the map control. You do want a bit more time and deliberation from the Swedish side, given that you want to combo your ultimates, you want to measure your team fight capabilities and take these calculated fights. But Luna, Omni Knight, VS will just run you through and just, you know, stomp your towers. And if you're not careful, it's going to be like really fast game. But Sweden has to put a, like some kind of stopgap to that.
So let's see, what are they going to pick to slow this game down a little bit? Plenty of time left to consider that. I don't know. I'm still really interested in like the early Venge pick too, because it definitely gave a lot more time for Sweden to think about. Okay, wait a second. We actually have to take this pretty seriously. So next pick coming through, Leshrac.
It's early damage and good laning phase. They need someone to fight early. But thing about Leshrac right now is that it's still a bit too fragile. None of the Swedish supports are in a in a bit of a saving category compared to the Execration, who has Omni Knight save, VS save. So Leshrac has to kind of survive on his own, kind of tank a lot while DPSing a lot. So kind of need to have a warranted good laning phase towards the first core item, which would also mean that it will be ineffective until it has the first item. Other lanes has to survive on their own as well, and Void gets banned for that late game potential.
Yeah, I mean, even though the Ags isn't quite as strong on Void, it's still super popular in this tournament at least. Maybe a holdover from previous patches, but still, it's there. Well, not anymore. Final ban here from our Swedish stack. 5 seconds left.
Also, Luna and VS, even if Vengeful Spirit's aura increases your attack range a bit, they're still like not that ranged of a hero. So it's really easy targets for the Void to ultimate. And, you know, heroes like a Faceless Void would really put a timer to the Team Philippines plans. So I think they're just trying to avoid that. And I'm just really interested in the Sweden's final ban. So Philippines has a carry offlaner. A Puck could go mid, but that's not the optimal choice right now. So
Yeah.
what kind of mid they will try to avoid putting up against Leshrak? They also have to reveal their final pick as well, first as well.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, the final ace pick or counter pick in this case is going to be super valuable. And you always do have that opportunity to put Puck mid, but I would be surprised if that's actually been their plan all along. Yeah, the final ban is super important because it does say, well, you know, you might be able to pick last, but at least we can control what your options are.
Quite the prominent carry heroes are banned for Sweden as well, so they gotta think about what do they want as a carry. I mean, you can always go for unorthodox picks like Doom carry or Leshrak carry. There's Templar Assassin mid, so that completely shuts down the possibility of Puck being mid.
Right, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to set that lane up deliberately. Always, you know, there are some, like you said, wacky lane assignments, and especially if you do see anything really shut down TA in lane, you can kind of throw a wrench in this Swiss squad. So, I mean, final pick, you know you're probably going up against the TA mid.
Yeah, and having Leshrak as a carry, I think I like that a bit more. Like, even if Omni Knight is really tanky, really durable, and from like level 1 or level 2 get-go, you get Lion, Leshrak, double stuns, completely locks down Omni Knight without a chance to heal. That would be a bit more pressure than Omni Knight is used to, and can even drive him out of the lane. It's definitely possible, given the right exchange of spells. And Doom Grimstroke would definitely at least get a good farm, or you know, fare pretty well against what I would imagine VS Luna lane. It's just Luna has a pretty short range.
Yeah, I was going to say the VS combo super well with that. So, final few seconds of our draft coming through. The last pick coming in for our Filipino squad. Undefeated here, but now maybe their hardest matchup yet. What is their final pick that they're going to choose?
I mean, given that Team Philippines also picked like heroes that gets countered during the laning phase, but can catch up during the mid to late game, they have still. I mean, you can like widen their selections a bit, but Viper being banned, Venom being banned, Huskar being banned, all the typical counters to the Templar Assassin being banned is a bit critical. That, you know, even if Templar Assassin loses the lane, it can go jungle. We've seen that. So if you give her lane and the jungle, can you keep up with her farm? Is a question.
So Lina as the last pick going to Nico is, I mean, not no surprise for us because we've seen Lina picked 2 or 3 times by the Philippine stack. But man, against the Swiss roster, I mean, especially the Grimstroke on EGM, like, oh my God, this is going to be pretty scary. Now, keep in mind, it is a best of 3. So we get a series to watch these guys play against each other. And that's what's going to be so cool, is that regardless of what happens here game number 1, you get game 2 to adjust. And I'm sure we will see a lot of that depending on how game 1 plays out.
Yeah, and they also played 1 game during the Swiss format. So they do have short, but, you know, history against each other. And Templar Assassin against Lina. I think they're just going to put some farm on Lina and, you know, try to get her some farm while allowing Templar Assassin some farm, so you can just snowball from your side. Kind of ignore the Templar Assassin, or just try to catch up to the Templar Assassin's curve, in a way.
I mean, catch up is not something that Philippines have had to do very much, but let's get into our first game of the semifinals right now. It's loaded up, and so on the Radiant side will be our stack from Sweden. Coming in up top in the red, the Dire will be from the Philippines. So ostensibly, this is Execration's roster from the Philippines, and a host of pro Dota players from all walks of life on Sweden.
Yep, and good luck, have fun to the idols. Definitely, Sweden, you know, EGM, S4, perhaps like all the players that all Dota players kind of strive to be as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about just your consummate examples of what it is to be a Dota player, you know, you look at like modern TI winners like OG, it's like, wow, what a crazy, incredible story each one of those players have. But then you look like back at each iconic TI or some of the biggest majors out there, you know, S4, it doesn't get much more iconic than that. So definitely an honor to be kind of casting him and seeing him represent his country here along with the host of the best Swedish talent out there. But let's see how this works out. Okay, nice way to escape there. Mazaran will be okay for now, and just fighting over runes, nothing super out of the ordinary.
That was an interesting choice of a first skill.
Okay, hello,
Not
Palos.
Purification, just Divine Favor. Palos is getting chased down. I don't think she'll be taken out, maybe?
Oh, is that what
juke?
That was not the juke you were looking for right there. What a way to give first blood to S4. Probably the worst hero to have with that, but I mean, look,
I think
what is the best of us?
I think what Luna thought was, even if she fails the juke and die, it's okay, because if she just runs away straight and not get caught, she either gets killed by the support or she has to return to the lane with really low HP. So might as well just give first blood and return with the full HP.
Yeah, I guess it does make sense. I mean, it's went for the game-winning play, not the inevitable death that would have taken a little bit longer. So anyway, back in lane, we're just gonna pretend like
you get what you
and nothing happened. And the Templar Assassin kind of getting pushed out. Nico using her light strike arrays really well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because obviously once those refraction charges start to pile up, it's going to be a much different matchup. But certainly early on, he's going to play that a little bit more carefully.
I really like the Divine Favor pickup from the level 1. It really allows enemy double stun lane to be ineffective. Even if you stun first, you can just purge out of the stun. Or if you stun against that Divine Favor, it's just really short duration.
Yeah, I feel like there's this iconic moment in every Dota player's lifespan where they play against their first double CC lane or a hard tri lane. They're just like you just will not have a fun time for the first few minutes. So get ready, because it's going to take a little bit of perseverance to get through that. But you're right, that's a great way to mitigate the effectiveness of that.
Serum orb out just to body block the small camp. The thing about that is that I don't know which side sentry is that, but he's just body blocking it. So even if that's a dire side sentry, they would think that it's not blocked by the ward. It's blocked by the player. And Lina gets dove a bit, but safe.
Yeah, we were talking about those refraction chargers and how important they are in the matchup. I feel like the first game we ever cast for Dota, this IESF, it was just all Lina, or it was all TA all the time, and the Lina just couldn't touch him, couldn't do anything. This time it's a little bit more even, at least during the early lane phase. But yeah, nice to see Chessie doing pretty well there.
Yep. And mid lane is really cutthroat right now. But top lane for the Philippines is they got double auras going. They're just slowly farming up. That's another nice side blade spill right there. But Nico is pushing Templar Assassin away. They both burned their regeneration items to the ground, but consumables delivered to Nico first.
Yeah, that's what happens when everybody has their own courier, right? I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch that mid matchup because it determined a lot about the last match we saw the Philippines play versus Thailand. Didn't go according to plan, and they had to make some kind of emergency substitutions there. But this time around, it looks like it is kind of going back and forth. Although, of course, once these consumables run out, we're going to see a lot more iconic part to this matchup for sure. Kind of interested in what is transpiring down bottom. I don't think we've seen that double stun lane for a minute. Probably that's because it's not actually the most exciting thing to be watching on the map right now.
I mean, you'd think double stuns would let a lot of kills, but Omni Knight is really good at dodging those or actually saving puck. So, good matchup. Omni Knight is getting farm as planned. And mid lane is a bit of a struggle, but Nico's getting his farm as well. So pretty even lane, but S4's Doom is just getting out of control for now.
I mean, that's the thing, is you're not going to see the real effect of Doom right now, but certainly coming up, especially with that first blood, it's not getting better, for sure. So, I mean, keep an eye. Right now, it's just Palos top. We'll see Venge probably join momentarily, just a little bit behind. But TA also with that extra regen, just absolutely starting to pile on the CS mid. I think
Radiant structures are
Dive
fortified.
coming. Vengeful Spirit should have followed Grimstroke.
Well, that's
immediately.
what I was saying. I was like, where's Venge? I thought Venge was just coming top lane. So now there's absolutely nowhere to run,
That
nowhere
was
to
a good
hide.
stun though. Palace, well, but can Palace juke it out? One more hit should do the trick.
And oh,
Wow.
or two. And now stuck behind the turret. This is basically the worst spot for EGM to be in. He's gonna get right-clicked down. Palace, that was impressive. He's one hit away, like you said. And there's a nice tip to illustrate that.
And final juke of the stroke.
Yeah,
That was the real cherry on top.
as definitely a big brain move right there. Very, very exciting to see that come out. I was almost sure that was where you start spam pinging your Venge and it's like you were supposed to follow Grimstroke. Where are you? But the answer is exactly where they were supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, Venge was a bit too slow to catch on to the dive, but came in at the right time, just the right time, and made both correct decisions on who to stun.
Yeah.
The guy who has a ranged attack.
Figured that one out. But hey, a great job there for the Philippines. They tie up the score, but more importantly, they're starting to kind of limit the effectiveness that S4 has top lane. Not, I mean, he's still going to be pretty dominant, but can't go for crazy dives like that just yet.
And it's not like Palace is losing any farm either. Since the first blood, he's been farming quite safely. Lion has rotated top, but I think it's spotted by the wards. Not yet. Soon enough, though. That defensive ward is really saving Philippines' safe lane. So Lion is just waiting in the trees without knowing that he has been spotted. And comes the smoke.
Smoking up. Now it's certainly not spotted. Sweden looking
Radiant's
for
courier has been
really
killed.
any options. Looks like the
Dire's
choosing to
top
go mid.
tower
Runes
is
up.
under
It's
attack.
Arcane. They will actually reach there. Oh, Nico. Poor Nico. He's actually going to see that. Trap on the high ground.
Misses the stun, but Lion cannot miss his stun, so that's Lina.
Nowhere to hide. Beautiful convergence there. We're starting to see kind of the MO of Philippines has been that teamwork, a lot of early roams, that coordination has been their strength, but now like Sweden's kind of one-upping them on that.
I mean, Mashiram still snipes the courier for less rock,
Is under attack.
but Chesh's still farming really well. And the thing about that is that it's the nighttime ganks. Though the scary part about that is that Lina thought it was like a single hero gank from the Grimstroke. I don't think she could have seen Lion, which is why she went back downhill for the stun. But Lion came out of the night vision and then just stunned her. And one thing led to another. Was 3 people converging on Lina. So it's 2-1. The score is pretty low for the games compared to the games that we've seen so far. But that's how calculated these players are.
Well, don't speak too soon here, Aqua. Looks like we have another dive coming through. Although Kimmo might be the first to go down almost simultaneously. Just trading kills right, back and forth and back and forth. EGM getting right click down. He's going to fall. Palos very low there as well. One more hit for S4 will do it. He's going to get it. A killing spree for the Doom.
Paolo stayed a bit more than he should have, I think. But, you know, right now, carries are just not as farmed. So they can just participate in the fight a bit sacrificial way.
TA coming in, immediately stunned there by Lina. It comes down and it's looking like a doomed. Oh man, this is basically the most painful spot to be in, is Lina. I love Kimmo turns around and tries for the deny.
And
Not
I mean,
quite.
this is the more difficult part. You don't want to get your stacks stolen, but well, it's gone already.
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to get back in there. Anyway, S4 is monster mode right now. He is absolutely unstoppable, and when you've got a team to back you up, that just makes it even more painful. Charlie tried to right-click you. I don't know if there's a future to that, but either way, the rest of the game is going very well for Sweden.
I mean, maybe if Omni rotated in as well, they could have won that fight, but after that, they might lose the macro war a bit. But yeah, Philippines definitely starting off on the back foot, given that Doom is such a force to be reckoned with right now. So much farm on him, like 9 minutes in, 4.6k, and like he's level 6 already. And then there's TA level A with like 3.5k. So Philippines has a lot of catch up to do right now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an Omni Knight we trust, even though he's got the highest net worth for now. And really, I don't know, the
Radiant's
immobility
middle
of
tower is under
Lina,
attack.
especially susceptibility, just like we saw in that last fight, Doom and then Dead. That's going to be a rough one to overcome, especially for Philippines. What lane do you really look to really make that comeback happen? Is it that off Omni Knight lane? Like,
I mean, it doesn't matter which lane it is, they just gotta converge on one of the side
Okay.
lanes. And given that Sweden has a pretty good vision on the top and a lot of presence on the top, I'd say send down like 2 or 3 heroes. Luna still has to farm a bit, so let Luna farm, let Lina farm as well, and then converge on the bottom, take the bottom outpost, divide the map in half, get some levels on Lina and Omni Knight for like the next 5 minutes, and really group up as 5 for the 50-minute fight.
50 minutes. Well, we haven't gotten there yet today, but we're on our way. S4 kind of wants to end it before then. He's doing an excellent job at that. Because actually, you were talking about Philippines grouping up. Sweden's the first team to really make that happen. They're going to take down the outer mid and then make an immediate rotation up top to follow through for a top outer turret takedown there as well. S4's got that on lock.
Yeah, I mean, teammates are rotating in, but he just ends the tower by himself. Double damage Lina, but gotta back up a bit. I mean, Omni Knight is looking to save her. Comes Purification, no Divine Favor yet.
Oh, Charlie coming in. Split Earth misses, but in the end, Nico is able to run away. I don't know if S4 is going to be able to catch up. The answer, of course, is yes.
Purification, Finger of Death, no Laguna Blade, and Double Doom coming in.
Well, how are you going to get away from this? I mean, I guess Puck survives, but only by running away and really just giving up all pressure, all presence on the map to Sweden.
This is what Team Philippines wants to do, but Sweden is doing it like 1 or 2 steps earlier than they are. And losing initiative with the lineup that wants to group up first and force the enemy to react to you is really detrimental right now. And Team Philippines, there's a lot more, like every battle, every minute is adding more catch-up homework that they have to do against the Swedish squad right now.
Ugh. Adding, yeah, a lot of work they have to do to come back from this. So it's looking a little bit rough, but only 3K net worth. The problem is where that net worth is, and a lot of it's on this Doom. And you can almost like count the fights by the Doom cooldown. Because they just use it, whether it's single Doom or like we saw in that last fight, double Doom. It's just not a lot they can use to make it happen. So moving in, they still get the takedown, but even S4 might be a little bit rough there.
And
the turnaround,
Lina's
CC stun,
Hex
Hex.
is so fragile. No purification of Vavo yet. I mean, that was really good. Tower last hit, singling out Lion for the kill. Silence on the VS, but it's a trade. But Lion for Lina, they're similar in skill sets, but not similar in the net worth.
Masaram narrowly escaping what our observers thought was going to be his untimely demise, but thankfully able to make it out of there safe and sound.
Yeah, not today, he says.
Well, I mean, it's Puck, so like, name a more iconic duo, Puck and escaping in 1 HP. It's just going to happen a lot, but.
Yep. I mean, just like Zeus dying a lot in the last
yeah,
game.
that was definitely a hallmark moment for our previous series. But man, this has really just been all Sweden all the time, and even though it's not a perfect score, you can really see the trend is positive, especially now with a bunch of big buys coming through. And TA could be desolating everything as if it wasn't without the item. Now, very appropriate.
But it's kind of amazing. How did this Vengeful Spirit farm mechanism? I mean, that mechanism is going to really help out a lot. And coming in, Lion.
He's going to kill a couple
Oh my
fights ago,
god,
but
another double Doom, double Impale, double
my,
Hex.
Get me out
Wow.
of here. Okay, well.
And the Courier on the top of that. My god.
I feel like before this we had a game of Dota, and after that fight it's just like, well, we're just waiting for Sweden to move on in. Kimo's pretty dead here.
Yeah, I mean, Kimo either had to roam from mid lane or group up and help the guys who were double Doom in the first place, but he wasn't at the fight, and he was pushing out mid lane while his allies died right next to it. So that was a bit questionable positioning.
When you were literally watching the rest of your team fall down around you, and you're just like, well, maybe I should push.
Radiant's bottom
Maybe
tower
not.
is under
Anyway,
attack.
this is just domination from Sweden. What you were saying earlier about what or Philippines might have to do to make a comeback. It feels like they're just not doing that at all. Like they need to come together right now over them, and it's not possible.
I mean, Luna is farming as fast as she can, but Sweden is hitting all their timings. And I don't think this 50-minute fight would end well for them.
Oh, Kim.
They can take the outpost, but that's about it. They're even saving Lion Impale for this moment. More hits. It's out.
Yeah, she's absolutely guaranteed to get the turret on top of that. Oh my god. It's not even about just getting kill after kill, even though that's what's happening here.
Blink Dagger on S4 instantly closes out gap and takes out Nico.
When have you seen Lina cast a spell offensively? I feel like almost all of it is, oh crap, I'm in the worst spot I've ever been in before. Time to use them defensively.
I mean, Team Philippines as a whole was caught on the back foot from the beginning, and never really recovered from it. Civet takes all the bounty runes. I mean, Philippines did get the EXP from the bottom outpost, but that's about it. Lost a lot of heroes doing that. They're pulling a lot of farm to Palace, but this lineup isn't really meant to be playing catch-up like this. They want to actually group up first and pressure the Swedish squad, which is a bit of a pipe dream at this point.
I mean, yeah, at this point, I don't think Philippines is going to be doing much pressuring. I mean, there's Master M pressuring the lane creeps. That's about the extent of their pressure right now. And especially because so many of the turrets have gone down on the outer side. It's like, when you have no more outer turrets, it's like, well, where do you really go? There's another death just because of that. As soon as you step away outside of your absolute safe zone, this is not a safe space to be in. Look at that. Double dues. We're just going to see even that Dream Coil just buying seconds that probably won't make much of a difference. Oh, S4 actually going down dangerously low. Does die in the end, but it's all for a good cause, right?
I mean, aside from creep cutting, just Bashir and Puck is doing real big things for Team Philippines. That could have been just like 0-5 wipe, but instead, good jump in, good Dream Coil. Bought them some time for S4 to just dive in too deep to trade against Luna. But still, the fight doesn't really look optimistic.
Nice try there. I mean, Nico didn't really have anywhere to go. I mean, he's going to get the Euls after that, so maybe a faster way to get back and buy it, but kind of the hard way. Oh man, just look at that graph.
I mean, it was kind of okay until the uphill fight where, another double doom kills off the core. And then Vanji gets caught off in the middle. That was when the whole thing turned around, because that led into the rush kill from the Sweden. And every single timing has been met. The winning condition is almost complete.
Your death is a
Jesse.
Picking heroes off left and right.
This combo is just going to be like, I don't know, Bash Bros everywhere. It's like, Zibby
my
walks
God.
forward, Jesse with the follow-up. Oh my God. Just disgusting. Dominating. Give you a hit. Oh, he's looking.
They know.
Where?
Oh, they know now.
Oh, no. Not
Diabolic
like
Edict.
that.
Diabolic Edict, just revealing the position of the Omni Knight.
Charlie would dare to steal that. Anyway, I mean, he was going to somebody, right?
He took the carry tactic.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Carry came into gank, gotta get the kill.
Yeah, it's like, who did more work there, right? The carry
who
right
walked
clicked.
all the way from his
Dyer's
farm
top tower
did
has
all the
fallen.
work. That's called heavy lifting.
That's right. This is a workout for the Swedish roster. 20-5 and a 10K net worth lead. Not to mention the crazy XP lead that you just saw in that last graph. It's look at the swap out. Oh, he's
That was one sneaky
saving
kill.
Private Zibby there. Ooh.
Team Philippines is all the kills like this one, and that one kill is enough to drive Sweden back. Sweden is playing really safe, and then Palace.
Yeah, I don't know. Philippines
Take it
not
out.
necessarily playing that safe. I mean, look, as Luna, especially when the game is in a situation like this, sometimes you just got to be that split push threat. But it also relies on you not spontaneously combusting when anybody shows up in your lane.
Yeah, so much of the map control has been lost by the Team Philippines that the Swedish roster can't really do anything they want right now. They continue to look for kills. Now this makes me wonder, like that one game Sweden lost to Team Philippines, how did they lose? We need to see that game actually.
Well, see, that's what's interesting is because this is a rematch, like you mentioned, and the only loss that Sweden had the entire tournament was to this execration stack. So, I mean, whatever they did last time, clearly Sweden has learned from their mistakes and really has taken it to Philippines, not letting them repeat that for sure.
And Mashiram is literally buying the whole team time by himself right now. Brought out the enemy TPs on the top, and then tried to take the bottom outpost, but couldn't. Just TP out.
I was like a second away, so really close. I mean, you got to go for effort like that, otherwise you're just going to lose a slow and painful death. So
This Puck is buying a lot of time, a lot of space, but would that be enough though? I don't think Luna is ready to fight just yet. But it's not like It's not like there's other heroes who can tank the Doom. And when it's not just Doom, it's double Doom with Grimstroke. So
yeah, I mean, Doom is just such a punishing spell. It's just like, well, what are you supposed to do during the duration? Probably not much.
not that much. And EGM just pushes out the lane
Dire's
even
middle
further.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, Sweden has all the farm in the world, and Team Philippines has to find a way to break out from this blockade somehow. But the goal difference is just proving to be too large at this point.
Yeah, I mean, to be
Dire's
honest
top
though, we
tower
did
is
see
under attack.
a pretty significant comeback in the last game that the
Yes.
Philippines were playing. Although in that game there was basically no goal difference, so obviously that makes it a little bit more possible. I mean, at this point, not only is it just the Doom, the double Doom, it's TA really starting to come online in a big way with that Desolator, and I think another core about to be coming here too.
Well, still, Team Philippines is trying to grab all the farm they can, farming the jungle, while the Sweden is a bit out on the other side, trying to raise their win probability as much as possible. So their team fight has to be done perfectly. Even doomed, Luna can still output a considerable amount of damage with her passive. So let her tank the Doom, and Puck goes in to disrupt them a bit, and Vent
Radiant
swaps
are
Luna
scanning.
out while Omni Knight heals her, and Lina doing Lina things meanwhile. Everything has to go perfect given the
Right.
goal difference, and they gotta. I mean, it's not like they can target. It's not like the last game where they could just kill Tiny and wipe out enemies like 50% of the enemy
Are
gold.
scanning.
It's like for Sweden, all the cores are beyond 10k. They're all leveled and farmed pretty well. So every one of them is a problem. So which one is a priority?
Double damage.
Both teams smoked, but Sweden pushing up here, not revealed just yet. I mean, there is.
Charlie is showing alone outside of the smoke, but they cannot jump on this. It's a trap for now, and I think Team Philippines knows that since everybody's missing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big
Dire's
mystery at
middle
this
tower
point,
is under
especially because
attack.
their ward coverage was a little bit spotty. If you just take a look at the mini-map, you can see they're right here. Like, thanks for that artwork. We now know where the enemy team is likely to be. But
Dire's
hiding
middle
outside
tower
vision
is
in the
under
trees,
attack.
baiting through that turret.
Yeah, but you don't want to fight
Dire's
against
middle
double damage
tower
Templar
has fallen.
Assassin. So
Yeah.
gives the tower, backs it away a bit, and meanwhile, Puck is pushing up bottom.
Radiant's
I mean, look,
bottom
we've been
tower
saying it this
is under
whole
attack.
game. Maserem is doing just the utmost to try to keep this game going longer and longer. But as soon as S-Force shows up down there, I mean, what are you supposed to do about that?
Gotta run and push out the other lane. I mean, Puck's doing God's work, and if it wasn't for Mushroom, I think the game would have ended even earlier. Like it probably would have ended right here. But Puck is buying all this time,
Yeah?
and Sweden is taking it safe and slow.
I like that Puck is now the designated split pusher because previously it was Luna, and anybody just walks down there, kills her, and then walks away. But with Puck, it's a little bit harder to catch that guy.
Yeah, Luna lost her split push privileges a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Puck is going to have a little bit of more survivability when it comes to that. So, yeah, still hard at work down there, shoving it out over and over again. But I don't think Sweden are really going to let that stop them from going for game-winning moves. Right now, either it's Roche or it's catching
Lina is
poor
right in the right. The top.
1, 2, 3 Free shot by Jesse. Oh, come
Luna
on.
is at the wrong place at the just right time.
Yeah, well, right time for Sweden anyway. Now the Roche, kind of the logical follow-up here. I mean, do you try to go for this if you're Philippines? Probably not.
Nah, you don't contest it. I think they're already making the right decisions even before we talk about it.
Just go to
They
the
take,
outpost.
Yeah, take the outpost. Although one of them will be taken by the Swedish squad since there's like 20 seconds left. But they can take at least one outpost. Charlie's coming in. Oh, it's done, but there's 2 more TPs coming in. Esports coming in from behind.
Charlie's just going to kill Kim by walking next to him. That's a little bit of humiliation. There's 1, 2. No more split pushing for you. Sweden really putting a stop to all these shenanigans.
Luna's back, but now all her supports are gone. So with the another Aegis to the Temple Assassin, they can just take the last remaining tier 2 tower and really start, you know, start the oppressive blockade again. You know, really lock them to the base. Maybe take 1 tier 3 out and take out the shrines as well.
I mean, if you look at the map as far as war coverage is concerned, Philippines actually has a surprising amount of information out there. They're just not using that to keep their heroes alive. 1, 2, 3, dead.
Well, that's Luna gone. Yule's into Grimstroke, done to the Grimstroke, but still alive. Omni Knight goes down surprisingly fast. And yeah, it's a snowball where, you know, it's almost becoming a revolving door of dead heroes. Like Team Philippines haven't had more than 3 heroes alive for past 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, this is like one of their players just stuck in the penalty box. They're playing a 3-on-5 or something like that. Either way, it is a rough one right now. Just blinking in. Oh, Jesse, come on.
Finally, they got the puck bench with Spirit combo working, but that's 1 Doom down. Can you take out the rest of the heroes? 4 versus 2. The numerical advantage is still on the Swedish side.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sweden has had one numerical advantage or another at basically every point this game. I mean, puck.
And Mashurim does it again.
Yeah. Okay, he gets something else that'll help him be a little bit more elusive. But oh no, okay, actually
Wait,
EGM in a little bit of trouble.
That's BKB burned, but 1 kill. Like any kill is welcome to Team Philippines right now. And can Mashurim take out another one? He has Clumsiness, but can he make it in time? No.
Wow, that was perfectly timed. I'll say it that way. I mean, Master M's back on that stuff down in the bottom lane. He's making it look pretty good. Killing off S4 and EGM. Obviously, that's a nice
Yeah, it was
addition, nice help to his team.
like the biggest win here is that they didn't lose tier 3. So
Yeah.
Team Philippines protects, although it was really damaged a lot, but they protect their tier 3 tower and then take some kills. They're not just consolation right now because Puck is buying all the time again, and Luna is slowly but surely becoming somewhat of a right-click monster that
Yeah.
she always wants to be.
I mean, Ag's completed for Lena as well. So Lena and Luna, I'm gonna say that one of these days. So I mean, parts of the Philippines stack are coming online, but it's just crushingly slowly. I mean, hey, to put it one way, they've come back from an almost 20K deficit to now 16 as the gold does start to come through.
Doesn't want to be too greedy on this.
Kills, Orb coming backwards.
Yeah, he wasn't too greedy on this.
Ooh, okay, well, putting that Ags to use. Nice one, Nico. And now all of a sudden, Doom is dead for another 50 seconds.
But that was really well played by Mushroom. There's a thin line where Doom doesn't really want to use his ultimate because you know Puck is too slippery, but Puck is there, kind of baiting Doom to just right click me, just hit him with the Inferno Blade.
He's too juicy, man. I mean, at some
that was
point,
really good taunt.
yeah, that was well played there. So I mean, Philippines, they're not out of this just yet. I mean, this is kind of one of the differences between seeing like pro teams play and then some of these like national stacks is that it's not going to be maybe quite as polished because obviously Sweden are in a pretty dominant position here, but Philippines are not giving up. This teamwork from the Execration roster that's been kind of their biggest asset is still alive and well and actually helping them pick up some key kills that are, I mean, helping them come back in this game a little bit.
The Philippines with all their auras, always the strongest when they're like grouped as 5. So Sweden kind of respects that. Echo goes to split pushing when Team Philippines pushing as 5. And a bit regrettable drop by Palace is that, you know, Greater Fair Fire, not the best item you want. They want something more game-changing than that,
Yeah.
but it's still a good combat trick. And Luna appreciates any sort of any form of damage right now. So
Yeah, I mean, you just got to take what you can get, especially when you're this far behind. I mean, if you look at net worth, Luna is starting to get up there, almost right on par with you know, that super farm TA 16K. Oh, blinking, and there's the damage.
Nice,
Look at that
double
Lina
stun.
and Nico! Dishing out the damage from behind, but here comes
Nico.
Jesse right on top of him. The immediate duels trying to run away. In the back line, though, it's just nothing but trouble there for the Filipino roster. EGM and Zibby making it go
ow.
from bad to worse.
Chessie and S4 coming to the rescue. I mean, they couldn't really rescue Leshrock, but they did surely revenge him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, look, it looked good at the beginning. That double stun from Lina, the Laguna Blade coming through. I'm like, damn, girl, she was really going off. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the Swedish heroes show up and everybody blows up. And you're like, well, look, we did the thing.
Yeah, but
They just
May-
also did
maybe
the
it
other
wasn't
thing where they all
enough.
die. Yeah.
like given that even when they were kind of grouping up and winning the fight, they were still behind by 10k net worth at the very least. And Temple Assassin with the BKB, Nullifier, Orb of Destruction.
Yeah.
She has every item she wants to have right now. And it's 30 minutes.
I was gonna say I don't know how long we're gonna have to go before she hits that level 30, but it's coming online in 7 levels. Jesse's gonna get there sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, the game might as well end before that. Cheshire has been a bit farming silently, but that Nullifier proved really effective against Omni-Knight in the last team fight. And with this item advantage, they can maybe try to finish. I mean, they finished out the tier 3 bottom, so they can take out the shrines, and then really take that stranglehold on Team Philippines. Because this team, even if Swedish squad is like ahead by 14k right now, that one misstep, one neglect from any of the Sweden members would definitely lead to Team Philippines breaking out and taking some kills and maybe even towards the objective. And Mushroom is really building the more of a background for that.
Yeah, no, he's actually not MVP, but like he's getting the job done, whether it's delaying the game, drawing it out, split pushing really, really well. Now, they can catch Chessie. That would be absolutely massive. They've caught S4 a couple of key times.
Smoke revealed and Chessie just blinks out. I mean, it's Luna carry, so even if they lose some racks, they can still push them out pretty fast. One of the best
Definitely true.
pushers.
Are scanning.
And Luna finally caught up with the net worth. Finally, the #1 net worth.
I feel like that is going to happen eventually just because of the nature of Luna split pushing or just like being able to shove waves out almost instantly. So I think we kind of knew that was going to happen, but certainly now it's a huge asset to have for Philippines because that carry is going to start to come online. Because Sweden has not actually been able to use this crippling advantage they have to close out the game.
I mean, Team Philippines really did held their ground pretty well. And given that, I mean, if Luna can farm all the way to the Satanic without really dying or losing a team fight, I think Team Philippines can maybe have like 2 or 3 team fights in them left.
All right. Okay. All right. I'll keep a track. It's like I don't know, HP. We've got 3 health left, and if they lose it too quickly, they are out of here. So let's keep an eye on what the what's the plan here. Is it just like I don't know, smoke up, try to find vulnerable heroes?
I mean, that's the only way for Sweden to actually initiate a team fight because they don't really have any blink initiators or really definite entrance to the fight. Maybe unless the Lion goes blink, but Lion's really squishy to serve that role these days.
Yeah, and you're not gonna like engage with the splitters or whatever. It's not gonna happen. So wave clear is gigantic for Philippines. Not only do they have the puck split pushing all the way to the racks, I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But you got Lina, you got Luna, like everything is just gonna wave clear so quickly.
Yeah, they force out the Leshrock TP, but Leshrock doesn't put to travel in case they have to, fight back in top. I think it's time for Team Philippines to break out, maybe, but they're still kind of content on farming the map It's not like Sweden's making any more aggressive movements anyways. So they're just farming happily. The gold advantage has been increased to 15k, but I'd say the bleeding or the hemorrhage has been stopped. What's left is teamfight execution.
All right, so how do we set these team fights up? A little bit of a rough
wait,
spot.
that was
but the
Notice?
counter
Don't want
engage.
to impale into Notice orb.
Yeah,
like
double dream coil there towards the back. Lena
and
throwing out some
double
spells, but
Greaves and the fight resets. That was a bit prudent on Swedish side, but Team Philippines realized that rest of the heroes of the Sweden has been positioned pretty far in the back, really ready to respond. So did not meet beyond Dream Coil, but without Dream Coil, can they really fight? Can they really protect this tier 3?
yeah, I mean, just thinking about cooldowns used. And look at that, the wave clear is starting to kick in here for Philippines. Once again, saving their high ground.
And then look where Puck is right now.
Oh, come on.
Mushroom knows that he doesn't have his ultimate right now, and he's better off split pushing.
Yeah.
And that bottom lane has been the main split pushing region for the Team Philippines.
I mean, it is farthest away from everything. You know, Roche at top lane. I mean, bottom lane doesn't have a tower in it anymore. It's just the racks, but it's always completely pushed. So definitely not where you want to go high ground.
Kimo has a vision, a D-ward.
I mean, Kimo's losing his entire health bar right now.
I mean, he throws out a stun before dying. The Dream Coil coming up, back in. Luna Eclipse, doomed I think.
Yeah, Nico tried to come back in from the right-hand side. Damage is there, but S4, oh my god, just right-clicking everybody down. Chessy godlike as well.
Buyback.
I mean, I guess that's one way to do it, but even still, it's just not going to be enough. Luna doing her very, very best. Losing Omni Knight right in time for the save, but not going to be enough in the end. Actually,
Manta
wait,
dodge for
what?
once, but you cannot dodge away from the Pulse Nova.
I mean, a valiant effort there. They took out S4, but at what cost? It's going to be everything. Oh, Massarev's really doing the utmost here,
Trying to
okay?
go for TA. That was,
Wait,
they
what?
actually take
oh
her
my
out.
God, what? Hello? Please
Luna,
respond.
Stun.
Or
Into
back
silence.
in.
Rule to dispel, but Kimo coming in with another stun.
Silence is in there. Right click's coming
And
through
then
stun.
this chain stun and Slash Frog. I mean, it took a lot of buybacks from the Team Philippines side, but they did it without Luna buyback. It's not like she had one, but they held their ground again.
What am I watching here? As soon as Sweden think they have an overwhelming like 20k net worth lead, they go high ground and get dominated. And like you said, buybacks effective and basically the last ditch effort there for Philippines, but they hold on. They still got 3 buybacks left.
And I thought it was an opening that Sweden was looking for at last, because they won the team fight outside of the base pretty convincingly. So they chased into the base, except that Team Philippines with a couple of really crucial buybacks really held towers, but they couldn't still rush away from them. They're still holding on to the Doom and the Templar Assassin buyback, but with Leshrac buyback, they, deter the Team Philippines from taking the rush.
Wow. I mean, the game continues, which is more than I thought was going to be happening at this point. And the levels are continuing to climb as well. How close are we to that, that epic level 30?
We are entering the epic or the beginning of the epic level. Puck just is level 25, which means that the highest GPM in the game is in play. Puck's GPM is going to go through the roof.
Oh,
If there's a multiple roof, 140-20 GPM added from the sheer virtue of talent. Doom, double Doom coming in.
Look at that Doom damage. EGM's going off. Grimstroke for the first kill, but many more to follow. Palace out there. Look at that lifesteal coming through. The Luna carry starting to kick in.
Doom has been shortened with Divine Favor and Luna with the Doom worn off. Just, wipes one out, and Leshrac dies without buyback. 4-2, but VS has buyback, so Team Philippines can still hold their ground, and Puck still, moving around, trying to cut the creeps. You gotta help out with the mid though.
Yeah, gotta get mid right now. Chessie's just gonna one-shot some racks up
Yes,
here.
buyback.
I mean, Don't sleep on Kimmo and Luna back up on the high ground. The life steal from that final talent is really starting to kick in there. Fallacy's just unkillable at this point.
Yep, Satanic and Silence kicking in. EGM bot back. Lion bot back came in.
Oh,
They got
Palos.
the Rex, but
S4 blinking
right now, but
in, damage
Luna
down, and
has the
finally
buyback.
a kill forcing out that immediate buyback. Beautiful play there by S4.
But would this Luna buyback pay off though? Okay, that's a good dream coil, Dream Silence, but Puck is without buyback. Should have waited a bit more for the Luna or just not go for it.
Yeah,
But
there's no follow-up there.
Luna bought back for this. They got a bit too agitated by the Luna buyback. I think Luna could have hold on to the buyback a bit because the creep was already cut, so they couldn't really push out any further. I think.
Well, either way, it's going to be Roche for Sweden, and an easy one at that. This is going to give plenty of time for heroes like Puck to come back. It's going to take 100 seconds, so they need all the time they can buy.
And Doom gets an Aghanim from the Roche.
Oof.
So that was an Aghanim Roche without... I mean, even if it was Refresher Shard Roche, that would have benefited Doom either way. That would have been 3 Dooms. One with the Grimstroke ultimate and one on the War Extra. But now that he has an Aghanim, his Infernal Blade is really strong now.
I mean, at the end of the day, not only does that make Doom incredibly strong, but we're starting to see a lot of heroes reach those, maxed out levels. And I mean, before when I was casting Dota on the previous patch, I was just like, wait a second, this just makes them really strong. But now, I mean, we're starting to have some of these like gigantic talent trees unlocked. I mean, you were mentioning Puck GPM, but like,
Yeah.
everybody's going to start to just really hit that end game fantasy, and we're just I don't know how to watch these fights because you see a fight about to start, what's going to be the engage, how's it going to play out, whatever, and then just like everybody blows up, man, and it just blows my mind. So
And there's a lot of DPS on both sides now. But
Yeah.
thing about Sweden is that they have a bit more endurance, I'd say.
okay,
Esports really jumping forward, taking all the spells, and then actually getting his spells off as well. So really controlling the team fight. And Lion and EG and Grimstroke are doing pretty well on the back as well. The VS and Puck are trying to set up some sort of their own initiation, but it's not about the hero spells usage or the player positioning. It's the whole map control has been like largely taken by Team Sweden.
oh, of
To
course,
a point
yeah.
that, in Team Philippines, they're fighting really well, but really fighting from like disadvantage.
I mean, yeah, Philippines has been fighting from behind basically the entirety of this game. I mean, from like minute, 9, 10, 11, it's been all Sweden all the time. I mean, when things look darkest, somehow Philippines have been able to hang on just barely. I mean, I think at the time of the pause, we still had about 100 seconds left on that Puck death timer. I'm just like, that's a long time to hold on through. So even with a pause, when we come back, that's going to be rough. I mean, look, in Luna we trust, right? At this point for Philippines, hyper carry is starting to kick in. Not only wave clearing, but still being basically unkillable when you consider like the talent, what is it, 35% lifesteal, and then there's also Satanic kicking in.
Yeah, they are almost near the edge.
Yeah.
Given that despite all this map control, despite all this like Rex disadvantage, despite all this gold disadvantage, Team Philippines are about to go over the edge. Because you saw how short the Doom lasts on Luna when Omnilight gives her the Divine Favor.
Yeah.
But even then, can they go over that edge? That one last step is the greatest leap.
Well, also, and that's the thing, is it's not just that Philippines has to find a way to take these fights. It's that they also have to find, or Sweden has to kind of let them. And, I mean, granted, like, S4 has picked a couple of weird fights where, goes in and goes down, and it's like, okay, well, maybe don't do that again. But even when he does do that, he's got buyback coming in, or there's somebody else there to save him, or Chessie just jumps in and kills everybody. And it's like, okay, well, worth it in the end.
Yeah, you see that Team Sweden, I mean, it's kind of expected to be a bit more resourceful in that position, but they're really prepared with their buybacks, or their plan B, plan Cs, in case we die here, we buybacks.
I mean,
like
that's how
one
far
hero.
ahead they are.
Yeah.
It's just kind of insurmountable.
Yeah, but fighting. I mean, Team Philippines still has like tricks up their sleeves, but how much time do they have left? Because while they're growing, Templar Assassin, Doom, Leshrac, they're all gaining items as well.
Well, it looks like we are about ready to get back into the game. So without further ado, let's hit it. Coming back at about 60 seconds left on that puck death timer.
So now what's really important is how much item can Lina stack on her inventory as well. Because now that Luna is almost like 6 item, but Lina is still on a bit of a nuker build. While you know, she's pretty good nuker on her own right, you do want her to
Gonna transition to that right-click build.
You do want a bit more constant physical damage.
Trying to go high ground again. This is the Bane. Oh my God, Chessie blinking forward. There's the duels, but damage is so good. Immediately blows up that Venge.
But
right
that
was
bat. Really great Lotus Orb.
Yeah, that was immaculate. Now trying to come back up. Refraction back on Chessie, looking for another blink opportunity. Palos dishing out the damage, clearing out the waves. Is it going to be good enough?
And there's a Grimstroke Aghanim in work as well. That Grimstroke Aghanim, Dark Portrait, actually took out the racks. So there's another solution coming from Team Sweden. EGM getting Aghanims and making a copy of Luna, which is about the strongest hero that you can make an illusion of.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. It's definitely one way to do it. I mean, I feel like if that's what you have to resort to, you know, probably there's other problems going on, but hey, you know, whatever it takes to win the game. And let's not even talk about Chessie at this point. 27, 3 levels away.
Almost there. And he already has all the talents he needs. But that level 30 is somewhat of a hallmark of, you know, we are at the end game.
I mean, we're in the end game now for sure. 42 minutes in, our longest match of the tournament so far, and starting to get a little bit rough.
This might help out a bit for the Luna. The spell prison pickup from the Palace. Sure, Lina just got it. Really great Lotus Orb usage from the air.
Want to go in, there's the blink, the swap coming through from Kimmo. That's exactly where you want to
use Lotus Orb when you're hexed.
Yeah, blink in the background. Lion gets blown apart there. Look at Palos, the damage, the DPS is there. Starting to take
fighting.
Yeah, starting to take more than he can deal there. Palos, BKB still online, running forward there, low health.
But you cannot man fight against 4 heroes.
Yeah, I think that's about ready to do it.
Yeah, on the sideline, Chessie just goes in and kills Lina, assassinates her, and returns to fight, ends Luna, and yeah. Team Philippines, they held their ground, but the snowballing, it's one of those games I would call literally smothered by the gold. Team Sweden just steamrolled with their gold advantage, but Team Philippines showed that they always had somewhat of a solution in this, you know, dream situations. They got their experiences, strategies. So, you know, since it's a best of 3 series, we can look forward to better games.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to take a small break here while Sweden kind of swim in their Scrooge McDuck piles of money. And hopefully when we come back, Philippines can find a way to come back themselves. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 2 of our semifinals.